everything you do in life is a great experience. This is God's country out here now.
You have beautiful trees, one of the most beautiful parks in Broward County for our residents to enjoy.
This place really brings you back and grounds people as far as what living used to be and can be in the future.
Nature-wise, where else in urban Broward County can you find over 160 acres of practically untouched hardwood upland hammock?
Well, Long Key is part of a series of islands, 7 islands, that was referred to during the 19th century as the Sam Jones's 7 Islands. Sam Jones was the Seminole chieftain. His real name was Apayaka. And these islands were actually elevations within the eastern Everglades. There is a long continuous history of human activities and human occupation on Long Key, going back at least 1,500 to 2,000 years, but continuous occupation right up through the present. And that included the period of time when the Diquesta, the Native Americans who were part of this area, were decimated by European diseases in the 16th century and disappeared by the 18th century. And the people who replaced them were the Seminoles and Miccosukes. When those people arrived from northern Florida, they occupied the same high ground islands. They built their villages here, they buried their dead here, just as their predecessors had done. Eventually, the Seminoles were also pushed off of Long Key in the 19th century and by the very early 20th century. And it was in that period of vacant land that white Europeans began to appear, farming it, creating eventually by the mid-20th century citrus groves, and doing the kinds of things that were part of the development of early Davie and the whole Broward County area.
I'm Abbas Zachariah, principal architect with Walter Zachariah Associates. We're in the Baez house. They were a family that moved down to South Florida and purchased a large acreage to create a citrus grove. This was part of the ridge, so this was the dry part of the Everglades. So it made sense to plant orange groves on the dry side, and then they still had the wetlands and everything around them. And this is in the time frame when the Army Corps was starting to dredge everything and to create the canal. And the house we're in, it was their homestead, I believe, built in the 40s.
The great thing that we have, I think, as human beings are our memories. What I remember from when I was a young kid, or my parents would take me right to this area when it was the Kapok Tree. It was a restaurant that was very famous at the time.
Well, I think the Kapok Tree was beautiful. The Kapok Tree brought a lot of people out here. They had beautiful gardens out front with the pillars that you walk through coming in here. And it was very busy, very exciting. And you had many, many great people coming through. And good memories, yes.
The Kapok Tree was so unique. There really wasn't another one here that you can really remember the experiences you had there. When I think of the Kapok Tree and all the times I came here when I was a kid, I can remember that time with my mom. And it's just another memory in my head that I have of my mother. And I think a lot of people have that type of memory.
And we got married here at the Kapok Tree 38 years ago on November 6, 1977. He walked me down the aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah, down the walkway, basically.
It was
And it was beautiful. The gazebo was, I think it was around, was it like a greenish and paint color? It was very colorful, very ornate. It was just gorgeous.
I didn't care about the color of the gazebo. All I knew is I wanted to marry you.
No, well, I cared about the color. Didn't want it to clash with my dress, you know?
I never asked her to marry me.
No.
The time we started dating, I said, when we get married?
It was kind of a neat feeling to be back where it all started. Sorry. 38 years ago. Getting a little teary-eyed. It was, it's awesome. It really is. That we're able to come back here and show our girls where it all started.
That's where our life together began, right here at the Kapok Tree. Every minute of it was well worth it.
Yes, it was.
Well, after the Kapok Tree closed down, sometime later, Broward County purchased the land, and it's now called Long Key Park. It is an incredibly beautiful park, and it even dates back to that thousands of years, to where you had Indian tribes and others that settled here, just right next to the Kapok Tree. And so this area has a whole lot of history.
I think probably the most important part of Broward County getting this land and taking it over is that Broward County, when we purchased it to preserve it.
The challenge at this site was to build what we wanted to build, but not leave an impact to the site. So the building that's there now, the Nature Center, is actually located between 4 different mature oak trees, and then also the wetland on the south side. So the footprint of the building is designed to fit within the area that was available versus clearing whatever area we wanted.
We want people visiting Long Key to appreciate a sense of place. And we want them to know that there is a history here that predates their own civilization, their own idea of what their own personal history might be. And we want people to know that these kinds of special magical places are being curated by the county in terms of preserving our heritage.
My name is Bridget Schneiderman. I'm president of the Broward Victims' Rights Coalition. We're at Long Key Nature Center at the Garden of Reflection, a place for remembrance. And this is a monument dedicated to crime victims and survivors in Broward County. It's important because it's the significance of what it represents, not only in our county, but in the state of Florida as well. There's really nothing to this size or magnitude that honors crime victims in the way that this does. It's not just serving a crime victim or survivor, it's serving the community as a whole as an awareness and an education piece. It really kind of leads to the impact that this has on our community. The Broward Victims' Rights Coalition is a small nonprofit, so when we started out, we wanted the same feeling, but I think we had it on a smaller scale. And so we were thinking of something more along the lines of a bench in this area, but still would lead to that tranquility and so forth. And as we evolved, the idea just got bigger and bigger. But the basis of it stayed the same, that we still wanted tranquility. We still wanted just this feeling of calmness, just solitude when you come. But what we also realized is we do want to show empowerment. And having such a strong feature, a strong monument, and what it really developed into shows the best of both worlds. And I think the more that we can show awareness, we show as a community where we stand on that, and to have something as significant as this really truly says how Broward County stands on crime victimization, how we support crime victims and survivors, what they mean to us, and how we support rights and services.
The Nature Center has wonderful night hikes every month that give you an opportunity to see what's going on in nature at night. And with the experienced staff here to tell you something, there isn't a time that I've come here that I haven't learned something new from walking around with one of the park naturalists. It's amazing.
We actually have in the exhibit hall not only examples of the natural history and the animals and plants that were part of Long Key and still are part of Long Key, but we have the history, the prehistory as revealed by archaeology. We have excavated here over the last 20 years. We found hundreds of artifacts from the DeKesta and then subsequent Seminole occupation, which came during the historic period.
We have an art in public places. It's called the Island Garden, and it's a lovely spiral that is sort of centered around spirals in nature and water. And it's really lovely. It's a nice place to sit and just enjoy the sounds of nature.
I worked with the Archaeological and Historical Conservancy. Our team played a major role in the design of the exhibits, providing the artifacts, but coming up with new ideas on interactive exhibits for the kids. Some of the things we did, we created a dig pit that allows people to uncover bones and artifacts. Another thing that was innovative is that we created a series of replicated masks that dated back to 1000 AD, where people can look down into a panel and see the mask as it would look on them. And another thing we did was, how do you deal with showing children how to appreciate Native American musical instruments, so we were able to put them in a case where people could still handle them and use them in a way. And they've held up. It's been several years. Everything is still intact.
We have a beautiful oak hammock hall. It holds 240 people, and we do conferences, weddings, special events, just about anything. Long Key is a butterfly sanctuary. We have 2 rare butterflies that people come from all over the world to see, the malachite and the atala. Also, we have tawny emperors here, which is a butterfly that's common farther north, but it's not that common in South Florida. We would really like to develop the Baez house into sort of a living history exhibit, where we would decorate it to look as if someone was living there in the 1940s. We've already collected a few pieces of furniture. We still need a lot more stuff. We don't have anything in the bedrooms right now, so we're looking for bedroom sets that would have reflected that time period.
How do we take this house and bring it to life where anyone coming here in the modern age could feel like they were living in that time frame? So as far as the construction of it, we had to be true to what it was as far as the building is concerned.
I think the Friends of Long Key, it's really an amazing organization. And what a lot of folks don't know, they're not a county-run organization. They are a group of people that decided to get together to form an organization to help make this park better. It's a nonprofit group, and it's just because they care about Long Key. They care about the history of it. They care about what it is today, and they care about what its future holds. And I would encourage anybody that really cares about Long Key the way that I do and the way that the Friends of Long Key do, that they get involved with them, because they are some wonderful folks who care deeply. They're selfless people. They care about making this park great for the people now and for future generations.
You need to connect with nature. I think it's important just as human beings. I think we need to be more connected with nature, but also it reminds us that these places are important to preserve.
This is the last vestiges of what Broward County and South Florida used to be.
Everything you do in life is a great experience. And this is God's country out here now. And it's beautiful. It should stay like this, and just pack a sandwich and walk around and enjoy what Mother Nature has put here.
We need to know where we came from. We need to know that we are part of the continuity of the human experience through time. And we need to know that we have to learn to regard and respect not only our environment, but our history. Not only our history, but the heritage and history of other people, including Native Americans. It's when you have that sense of custodianship that you can be part of civilization in the highest sense, when you can feel that you're not just participating, but you're part of the solution for our future.